So, the top secret file that Six Flags Over Georgia teased has been unveiled, and we have officially received news from the park on what the Georgia Gold Rusher is going to be. This won't be a long-winded intro, but let's just say that this came from out of left field and was quite the surprise. With that being said, let me explain. Georgia Gold Rusher has been announced that it is coming to the park in the spring of 2025. I'm sure you all know what this ride will be, but let me play the trailer for it. Oops, sorry, wrong trailer. Kind of. Okay, so Georgia Surfer, which was supposed to be the new for summer 2024 coaster, meant to debut last season, but since has been postponed to spring 2025. I have a video with official audio from the park's general manager stating that the ride will open at the time of its recording, that is, opening on opening day of the 2025 season. But Georgia Surfer has been renamed and rebranded to Georgia Gold Rusher. Well, you may be asking, why in the world would they do this? I mean, the ride hasn't even been open yet, and it already got a rebrand, retheme, and a new name? Yes. Yes, indeed. That's exactly the case. Let me shine light on the situation. So back in September of 2023, a poll was held for us, the guests, to submit what we all thought the name of the world's first Intamin Ultra Surf Coaster should be. A poll was open and there were over 2,500 submissions. In October 2023, it was narrowed down to a top 3. Fast forward, I guess Georgia Surfer won. Woohoo! There was some pushback on that name, with people saying that doesn't make sense, that the name is generic and basic, to others saying that people don't surf in Georgia, due to the lack of water, that is. Many wanted the coaster to be named of the likes of aquaphobia, which is an intense and irrational fear of water, which would play nicely to the park's Intamin Gyro Tilting Drop Tower, acrophobia, which means the intense and irrational fear of heights. I love it. But no, aquaphobia didn't win. Some even wanted Georgia Soaker. Not great, but hey, it makes sense. I mean, the Georgia Scorcher is hot and will burn you up. Then you could cool off by heading on over to Georgia Soaker. I mean, we do get blazing hot summers, and statistically it does actually rain here a lot, so this could work in many ways if you want to go deep. But I digress. So the ride again ended up being named Georgia Surfer. The plot of land where Splashwater Falls was raised, and construction eventually began on the new ride. It actually happened pretty quickly. It had an aimed summer 2024 opening still, until it didn't. It was announced that the train for the coaster didn't get shipped until August 2024. So yeah, no way to really test it in time and get it open by September 2024, which up until like the 22nd of that month is still considered summertime. But it all got pushed back. Fast forward again, January 17, 2025. Six Flags Over Georgia teased on social media that a folder was found on their maintenance director's desk, wondering what it would be, while teasing photos of the mining era and even Dahlonega Mining Company's sign at the bottom, which definitely would make one believe that this was going to happen to the Dahlonega mine train, being that it's a mine train ride and they teased the name Dahlonega. A few days later, on January 22nd, the park revealed an animated look at the coaster along with a new name showing that Georgia Surfer will now be Georgia Gold Rusher, and that Georgia Gold Rusher will now have theming and a backstory, officially attaching it to the lick skillet section of the park. According to the general manager, quote, Georgia Gold Rusher harkens back to the nostalgic era of the park, where thematic storytelling was the forefront of everything we did. Inspired by Georgia's 1885 gold rush, the ride introduces guests to eccentric prospector William Willie Gibson, clever entrepreneur with a mischievous streak, and brings a rich new narrative to Lick Skillet. End quote. So that's the backstory to this new ride, and you know what? I absolutely love it, and it does make plenty of sense. I'll explain. The new name Georgia GoldRusher is located tucked kind of in a small in-between area, right by the DC Super Friends area of the park and Lickskillet slash Screenpunk district. But when you stand near Carousel Hill and look at the ride, it looks like it can touch Dahlonega Mine Train. I mean, you can literally see it there. To me, I like that it blends it all together. The area as you're walking on the bridge is old-timey. It fits the theme of this coaster going on to the Lickskillet section. Then you have Country Cousins Lemonade and the go-karts, which cleverly already named Gold Town Racers. But all in all, it looks like a smooth blend of Lickskillet to Dahlonega, although Dahlonega Mine Train isn't a part of the Lickskillet section of the park. But it is strange though that this is right near Bugs Bunny Boomtown, which you can clearly see. I would love for them to change the theming up a bit there to bring more cohesion visually. The next thing I want to address is the name Georgia GoldRusher for this coaster and the coaster train. Isn't this an Ultra Surf coaster and the coaster train was a surfboard, right? Well, yeah, but with a little imagination and a name change, it's now a mining vehicle. It's almost like a prospector's pan where it goes into the water, shakes back and forth, and you hope to find gold, if that makes sense. I like it actually a lot, it works better to me in my opinion. But here's where I provide a little bit of pushback of why though? So again, this ride was named, aimed to open in 2024, painted, designed, marketed, and hyped all around the park, all for it to not open as Georgia Surfer. I get it that things happen sometimes as things actually did happen, and that's completely understandable. But man, this coaster had a beautiful paint job on it, just to be completely erased. The woe to me isn't with the new paint scheme itself, but just good paint on a coaster being wasted. I know I'm nitpicking, but man, other coasters at the park could definitely use some new paint, and to see the orange and blue paint on this Intamin Ultra Surf being removed and being painted again does hurt a bit, but that's just my opinion. Overall, I am hyped about this change, especially with the theming factor. I have been screaming for more and more theming. I am a theme park enthusiast first. Theming means the world to me at parks. Being immersed in your surroundings at the parks makes it a special place. With them revamping the menu at Miner's Cookhouse in the Lickskillet section, and now providing a nice thematic backstory to this section of the park, and this new coaster with theming is just awesome to me. But now, I want to hear from you all. What do you all think of this coaster? Now with all of the changes, what do you think about Six Flags changing the name before the ride even opened? How excited are you, if at all, to ride this new coaster? Share your thoughts with me and let me know in the comments because I would love to hear from you. Till my next video and or adventure, take care, be well, and have a thrilling day.